Robert Reagan here, about to read another short story that I wrote last January. It's like the musical with no music, older stuff. Like I said in that video, I've been going through writer's block a lot here lately, but I'm working on it. I got like 3 little things I've done in the last month and a half, way off my story a day thing. Anyway, this is another one I shared last January with censorship. They won't fill in none of my stuff, but fuck it. Anyway, this one's called Playing House. My rich friends left for a Christmas vacation to Florida. They were well off and very trusting. We'd only met a month before, and they actually asked me to house sit for them. If they had done some investigating, they would have voted me most likely to break into their house. Instead, I had permission to crash and eat anything there, and believe me, the cabinets and refrigerator were packed. They had flat-screen TVs mounted to the wall in the living room and bedroom, Xbox, PlayStation, they had it all. Laptops with Wi-Fi. I thought I had it going on at home after getting cable. The only catch to this great deal was the huge, full-blooded blue pits that came with the house. These big, cuddly babies wouldn't growl, bark, or show their teeth to an intruder breaking in. No, they would greet them with their tails wagging. These friends couldn't have children, so these pit bulls were spoiled rotten. They used couches for chew toys. If something got broke or ripped up, it was fine. They wouldn't kill me. But it was said that I might get a bonus at the end if nothing was destroyed. It's obvious they didn't know who they were trusting inside their house. On the other hand, just how well did I know them? Joe and Lisa were friends of a friend I hadn't seen in years. A friend who had just moved back in town and wasn't aware of my new shady reputation. Sean and me used to be big-time smoke partners. He couldn't house sit. He had to go back out of town, but volunteered me to. I'd known Joe and Lisa a few weeks, but figured they'd laugh at the idea. It shocked me when they said, "That's a great idea." Sean joked that they didn't have to worry about me fucking on their bed or throwing any huge house parties. I wasn't a handsome Don Juan or anything, but I did have some gold-digging exes who would love to get it on in such a fancy place. Going through my contact list, only one ex was free. Kimberly had been recovering from a big abortion and needed to get out a little bit. She nearly lost it when we walked in and she seen their liquor cabinet. Forget all that I said. There's a jar of Shine in the fridge that will put you on your ass. Drinking wasn't my thing. They knew I was a smoker. But that temptress Kimberly with her jet black hair peer pressured me into drinking. Back when we dated, she wasn't an alcoholic. We were both stoners who blared punk rock and metal. It freaked her out when we got drunk on that Shine and I started blaring country music. Staggering around the living room, I slurred, singing along to Luke Bryan and Jason Aldean. Kimberly shook her head side to side and looked at me crazy. I seen her clearly through my drunken blur. Country music and homemade liquor was making me catch feelings for this 2-bit hussy again. To get my mind off of that, I set out to find their weed stash. The first time Sean introduced us, we all had this huge smoke out. They had exotic, loud marijuana that was some one-hitter quitter shit almost. True, I had a half a commercial, but being drunk made me want to smoke some of that good they had somewhere stinking lonely in a Ziploc bag. I just had to think like the law. Where would they hide it? Kimberly joined in on the search. The dogs followed her into the bedroom. They watched as I went through the closet, until finally I looked at them and asked, "So you gonna tell on me or what?" They both swayed side to side, bumping into each other as they wagged their tails. I took this as them not caring if I cleaned the place out, just as long as they got fed and watered. Kimberly, holding up a shiny ring, asked if I think they'll miss it. No, babe, you see that huge blue diamond? I say I'm sure they won't even notice it's gone. How about this bracelet, she says, or these earrings? Once again, I shot her down. If I'd have met 'em on my own, I'd have made up a fake name. That way I could have took everything they had. Under these circumstances, they knew my real name, and stealing Lisa's jewelry was bigger than taking a couple of bowls of their killer weed. We never did find their stash, but along the way during the search I found 3 fully loaded pistols. Kimberly found full bottles of Percocet. Drunk, I told Kimberly they won't miss about 10 or 15 of those. She crushed painkillers while I packed the bowl with my regular. I was going to get my Pete and wheels on. Kimberly wanted to hit the cabinet up since all the shine was gone. Wasted, she told me about a bag of sex toys she noticed that I hadn't. Handcuffs, nipple clamps, vibrators, mainly, she said. From there she talked about their huge bed. Taking her hints, I thought back to Sean's joke about how they wouldn't have to worry about me fucking on their bed. Just for spite, I banged Kimberly standing up as she set her bare ass on their kitchen counter. From there we did it on their dining room table, before ending it on the couch with the dogs watching closely, still wagging their damn tails. To avoid bothering Kimberly with yet another pesky abortion, I left one hell of a huge cum stain on their nice couch. Their dogs chewed up their furniture, but I couldn't pay shit on a trip to the clinic. A wire coat hanger would be about the best I could do. Both of us passed out cold. The next day, 2 tongues licking my face woke me up. First thing I seen was pillow feathers soaking in dog piss. The couch looked torn all to hell. Damn dogs kept me from getting that bonus. Worse than that, that dirty, nasty Kimberly was nowhere to be found. Lisa's jewelry, pain pills were nowhere to be found either. Plus the drunk bitch took all the liquor. Every bottle. This skank made off with a lot of shit and left me to take the fall. She left all the guns. She left all the guns though. I should have used one of them to kill her for this, but selling them to a local gangbanger made more sense. Being on the run for robbery was bad, but murder was worse. While talking, these two hellhounds came up, and it turns out this same thug knew a guy who was big into dog fighting and would pay me for these 2. They're both big old babies, I said. This guy Marcus with his sagging pants said, oh, they have ways to make 'em mean. Soon I showed back up with both pits in the back seat of my car. Marcus was there now with the dog fighting prick who was huge and overweight. Out of breath, he said, I'll give you $2 grand for him, a G apiece. The money was talking loud, but then looking in the back seat, I seen those damn tails wagging. Shouldn't they have been cut off? Either way, I said, I just can't do it. Thinking, my voice blurts out, do you guys ever do any pimping? I ask, is there any money in kidnapping a dirty, ruthless bitch? Okay, that was Playing House. Kind of had abrupt ending to it. I get it. And I've let a couple people see this, man, and they kind of like it. And so, I guess it makes sense. But right there, that ending just kind of seemed whack to me, you know what I'm saying? But basically, it was like, can't get rid of these dogs because, you know me, I'm a motherfucking dog lover. Cats and dogs, best thing God ever made. But in this, I'm like, I have second thoughts, back out of selling the dogs. But this dirty ass bitch that got me in all this stuff, I'm like, y'all ever do any pimping? Any money to be made in kidnapping a dirty, skanky hoe? But that's basically the gist of it. But anyway, that's Playing House. Older now. I wrote it last end of December, early January. Just did a little video for a musical with no music. That's straight retarded. This right here, I was just trying to make it a little bit more straight narrative. Either way, you know, I just do what I do. Okay, and this has been Robert Lynn Reagan again. This time with my story, Playing House. Hope you enjoyed it. Thanks to everybody that watches and reads, as always. Thanks.